The main reason I decided to start at CGA as a full-time student was because of the broad curriculum. There were so many more options, especially things like psychology and geography, which weren't available at my previous school. And then also I really enjoyed the online aspect, and I find that I actually have a lot more friends because I can connect with people all over the world. My name is Gemma, I'm 17, I live in Tuakau, Auckland, New Zealand, and I study geography, English literature, biology and chemistry. I think you're definitely a lot closer to your teachers online because they take the time to really talk to you, and I always feel comfortable if I have a concern. I can go to a teacher and say that I'm worried about something and they're always happy to give me some help. And it really brings the class closer and everyone feels so much more involved. Especially in one-on-one classes, I'm given extra time to really focus on my paper. So for example, Mr. Carlsberg, my geography teacher, took me through the paper 2 for geography, and he really explained everything in depth, and we took multiple lessons just to go through it step by step. And if I got stuck, he would say, okay, well, let's break this problem down, figure out where you need to go from here. And it was really cool having it tailored to me, which I think is a really great part of being in CGA. It's actually really fun because everyone's so focused and everyone's listening, and when one person speaks, it's that person speaking, so the entire class listens to you, and it feels so much more focused, and everyone joins CGA because they feel they can push themselves further, and I think that's definitely reflected in the dynamic of the classroom. My favourite thing about CGA is probably the different people you get to connect with. So I've met so many different people. Some people actually live close to me who I'm now really good friends with. Other people live in Australia, Singapore, Japan. It's been really good to connect with them all and learn their stories. And you've got Slack, which is the online chat channel that allows you to connect with everyone, and even your teachers. You can have casual conversations and learn things about their lives and what they get up to in their free time, and then you can also connect with other students. And there's things like every week you get put in a classroom with people your age, and you just get allowed to talk and discuss things and do competitions, and I think it's really, really interactive. As a full-time student, I have classes 5 times a week, and it's the same time each day. There's a lot of flexibility though, so if you need to do something else, for example an appointment or an extracurricular, you can always just shift your class, or there are recorded lessons so you can watch the entire class, your teacher speaking, any interactive sessions and things like that completely from home, and it's really easy to access. I generally wake up about 6 and I'll go ride my horses, and then I come back to the house and I'll start my classes for the day. I will log on to my computer, get my camera set up, and then sometimes I'll talk to my teachers, sort of find out what's happening before the lesson, print off any work I need to do, and just get all my books out and get set. So the main platforms I use are probably Canvas, OneNote and Cami. So Cami allows you to interact with your teacher, so you can write on it and then they can also see what you're doing, and it means they can help you as soon as you have a mistake, whereas in a sort of brick and mortar classroom you wouldn't have that same immediate support. And then Canvas is a sort of universal application where you can go on and you can access all of your grades, all of your work at once, and it's really, really helpful. And then OneNote allows me to interact again with my teachers, but also my classmates, and we can all collaborate on a piece of work together, which is really, really helpful. My parents at first were hesitant, but now they're really, really grateful that I joined, and they're really supportive of me. They said I'm a lot more engaged, and they'll often see me spending a couple of extra hours putting that extra work into my essays, because I used to just sort of rattle an essay out, but now I really take the time to go through it, and yeah, they think that I'm a lot more engaged in my learning, which is really cool. So living rurally, it's meant that I always really like the idea of being able to work from home, because you don't have that extra travel cost and time and things. I have quite a few hobbies. I do my horse riding, I do a little bit of volunteer work, and I like to help my brother and support him in his off-road racing. Being a student at CGA has meant I can easily fit them into my weekly schedule, so I have so much extra time in the morning especially that I can get up and go ride horses or play my clarinet and get everything done, and then I can jump into class and I still have the rest of the day ahead of me. And it gives me so much extra time in the day, probably an extra 3 or 4 hours to really go out and just enjoy riding my horse and hanging out with my family, and I really appreciate that. I think CGA is for anyone really, anyone who's determined and driven and wants to advance their learning, and someone like me who lives rurally it's perfect for, because you can access it from anywhere in the world. It is so interactive, and it's definitely advanced my learning and my understanding of the world significantly, and it gives you so many opportunities to go to an amazing university or explore the world. It gives you a path where you can figure out what you want to do with your life. They give you the support you need, and then you can decide which direction you want to take.